Mark Ruffalo said his thing, and I was like, well, that was pretty good, actually. And then, Don Cheadle did his bit, and I was like, actually, that was pretty good. And then Scarlet did her bit, and I went, wow, she was really good at shining that. And then you did your bit, and I was like, holy cow, that was so good. And then somebody went, Paul, it's your line. And, so I do think that it's lovely when you are all together and you get to see actually how fantastically talented these people are.
Let's bring them out. Let's hear from, you know them as Wanda Maximoff and the Vision. Let's bring out Elizabeth Olson and Paul Bettany. Hello. Welcome. Hello, Elizabeth. It's good to see you. How are you? Paul, pleasure. Take a seat. Wow, there's a lot of people, guys. There's a lot of folks. Goes all the way to the end here.
Wow.
Like a fire hazard, I feel like.
It's almost like looking in mirrors.
Holy cow.
Right? Like an endless sea of people.
It really looks like that.
I love LA Comic-Con. This is my hometown. I love the cosplayers. I love the fandom. But for you guys, are you guys big fandoms? Or what are your big fandoms? What do you guys geek out about? It doesn't have to be like video games or...
I'm watching Sopranos right now.
First time? Is this the first time?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
I'm in season 5.
Boy, you've got your finger on the pulse of television.
So Sopranos is the show you're currently watching. Paul,
Slow Horses.
Slow Horses is incredible. You know, those Apple Plus shows, man, I tell you what, they blow me away.
Never watched one. that didn't land.
Well, look, welcome to LA Comic-Con. Look, and let's talk about Wanda, let's talk about the Vision, but let's also talk about you guys. If you guys weren't sitting up here with me right now, and if you guys could hide amongst the fans and cosplay as any other character, what would you guys be cosplaying as to hide amongst the fans?
Oh, Gary Oldman in Slow Horses, because he can eat whatever he wants to eat. I'm already growing the beard, and he has one costume. No costume changes. Oh, it's perfect part.
All right, Gary Oldman and Slow Horses for Paul.
Princess Peach.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's a great answer. Look, obviously, the MCU has grown incredibly big. There's a lot of characters in it, but you guys, well, you started at the very beginning with Iron Man 1, and that was before you actually had to put on makeup. You could just go in and do your stuff. How did you end up getting the role as Jarvis? Was that like an audition process? Did Jon Favreau call you? How does that
Yeah, Jon Favreau called me and he said, I have a part of AI that is inside Tony Stark's house, and so I'm looking for an actor with absolutely no personality at all. And of course, I immediately thought of you, and I said, "Thank you, John. I'm in."
And the rest was history. Elizabeth, for you, the Scarlet Witch is a character that many fans really wanted to see on screen. So when you first, whether it be auditioned or was asked to do the role, did you know who you were going in for? Like, did you?
No, I didn't actually. My brother, who's here today, he has the company he works with has a booth up here, but he is the one who explained to me the potential characters that I could be meeting about just as a fan of Marvel. And so he prepped me, and one of them was Scarlet Witch. And so I knew a bit about the character. But the first thing that Joss Whedon told me was, I'm going to tell you about this character, and then you're going to look her up in a comic book, and I'm telling you, you will not be in a leotard. And then they put me in a leotard for Wandavision, and I loved it.
That's amazing. What were out of curiosity, what were the other characters that you potentially thought the character could be?
I think there's like some Guardians characters. I think we knew that Guardians was potentially going to happen as fans, and so there was a few of those characters my brother also prepped me on.
Now, we see your character's first appearance in a post-credit scene. Was that shot before you even started shooting the Avengers movie?
Yes.
It was?
Yeah, we shot that before, which was kind of amazing because it gave us this like beginning foundation of where they were coming from, and we kind of got to make them as twisted as we wanted to in that moment. It was really kind of like a freeing couple of days.
Now, Paul, I can't imagine when you first get the call for Jarvis that you have any intention of wearing any kind of costume or having makeup or prosthetics on. I'm sure that that's not something that crosses your mind when you're just asked to play Jarvis. So how did the conversation come about for you to play Vision?
Oh, it's a good story. I had just been told by a producer that my career was over and I would never work again. And Joss Whedon called up and said, do you want to play the Vision? And I said, yeah, I really want to play the Vision. And that was that.
I really hope this producer now is like, wow, I got it wrong. I totally, completely missed the mark on that one. When you guys first show up in Avengers Age of Ultron in your costumes, what's the first memory that you have of putting your costume on? Because Elizabeth, also, just real quick, I also just recently saw, I don't know if they were test photos, but they just recently were released of like photos of you doing, I don't know, maybe test costume stuff. Yeah. So what was the first initial reaction you thought when you saw yourself in the costume?
In the superhero costume?
In the superhero costume.
Oh, I couldn't even sit down in it.
Oh, really?
It was so non-functional. It was just for a day of standing, and it could never be used again. I'm trying to remember, was that the end scene of Age of Ultron, maybe? Or was that what it was? Or is it Civil War?
It's Age of Ultron, I believe, where they introduced the new lineup of Avengers.
Yes. And it truly is the craziest costume, and we never used it again besides that one day because you couldn't use the restroom, you couldn't sit, and you could hardly walk. So it's very useless if you're trying to fight anyone, you know? And so that, I just remember being very confused on how it functioned.
I can imagine. Paul, how about you? Because your ears are covered, you're like, you know, in heavy like paint makeup. Like, how was it for you?
Well, before the costume, there was actually a costume where there was no costume, and it was all makeup. And they glued things to me.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I had no costume. I was a little nervous, as you can imagine, to show up in my trailer to get into my costume, and there was just a pair of underpants there. It was nerve-wracking. And then they started sticking things to me, and it took about 5 hours, and then it took about 4 hours to get off. And they realized, oh, we can't shoot on him if we do that. So then they made me a costume.
So they made you a costume mostly done out of efficiency to save money, essentially. Yeah. That's incredible.
It's what they do in X-Men is what with, oh gosh, what's that character?
Mystique. Sure.
That's how, Mystique is a naked costume painted on her. Oh. But you didn't want to do that. You're not as tough as those women, Paul. Oh, sorry, I love him so much.
All right.
Hold on.
Hold your horses. I was champing at the bit to be naked. I think it was a production thing, but that is super brave.
Yeah, and it was, I think for like 8 hours, they're in makeup or something really crazy.
That's bonkers.
And then they're working for 4 hours.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How long were you in makeup for full Vision prosthetic?
It's changed over the years because initially a lot of it was makeup, and that was like 3 hours, I think. But now it's about an hour and a half. Yeah.
I mean, his patience is insane. The touch-ups throughout the day, and when he had his ears covered, he would have to just lean over. Am I allowed to say that?
You can.
He would just have to lean over and remove a bit of an ear, and it would just be dripping sweat because we were filming in Atlanta during the summertime. It was unbelievable.
Yikes. Super romantic.
Yeah.
That does not sound fun. But the finished product came out looking amazing, though. So there you go.
Thank you.
What was your first reaction when you guys saw each other in costume?
Oh, I think I was having an out-of-body experience anyway that day. That was my first day, and I had a huge speech, and I couldn't hear anybody. Joss Whedon was giving me notes. I know that Downey made a speech. I didn't hear any of it. I just couldn't hear.
And no one remembered their cues that day as well.
That's also true.
And so there's just a lot of awkward pauses that had to be edited out of the movie. It was a strange first day.
Really weird. And all I could hear was myself in my head. It was so off-putting. It was horrible.
It's incredible. Now, fans have watched Wanda and Vision's love story unfold throughout the MCU. What's been the most funny or unexpected reaction you've had about the on-screen romance between Wanda and Vision? From fans, I'd assume.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the expectations of our characters eventually coming together was something we had hoped for and something that wasn't guaranteed to us. And so Paul and I, in Age of Ultron, tried to find these moments where fans would at least know what's going to come potentially, and we wanted to play into it and kind of like nudge producers to say that we really want these characters to go in that direction, and so we invested in it from the beginning. So I guess the unexpected thing was WandaVision, and also because we hadn't done television yet, and so we were the first TV show on Disney Plus for them, and one of the first Disney Plus TV shows at all. And so I think that was a huge unexpected, not from fans, but, well, thanks.
I mean, WandaVision is incredible. That show blew me away. Now, let me bring you guys back, because that was during the beginning of the pandemic, if you guys will remember. And I remember watching that show and being completely blown away by what they were giving us. And Matt Shakman, I think, to his credit, is such a fantastic director.
He is, yeah.
And I love the fact that every single episode took us through a different era of comedy television, sitcom television, whatever it may be. Out of curiosity, did you have a favorite era working on that show? And was it done practically in the way that they would do things back then? Yeah. It was.
Yeah, we even used the same camera lenses, and everything was like vintage lenses they would find from whatever era we were shooting in. It was really it was amazing, the attention that was put, the attention to detail that was put into it. I just found every decade to be so much fun.
Me too. Yeah, and for different reasons. I mean, I suppose clothing-wise, I really loved our 70s era.
I was in a very pregnant suit for that era.
That's true.
And that was
And by the way, so your 80s looks.
The 80s were the things I think that was what I really loved, was the 80s looks. I loved having my suspenders.
Do you remember I had no sideburns? Yeah. You were really creeped out by it.
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn was such a phenomenal piece of casting with Agatha in that show. When you knew that she was joining the project, did you realize that Agatha was going to take off the way that she has, even getting her own Disney Plus series as well?
I mean, she was chewing up the scenery on every day on set. She was so funny. She was always coming up with such great bits. And I'm not surprised at all that the Agatha song,
Agatha All Along.
Agatha All Along song. That was Agatha All Along, right. That it became like number one on whatever crazy. It was, Apple Music or something crazy, like the charts, whatever that means anymore. But I mean, it makes sense. Catherine's amazing.
Now, working on, you were saying that Matt Shakman, he used old school camera, old school techniques. What did that version of filmmaking with him teach you guys about the process and your guys' process? Or is there a different outlook at all when you're doing a different style of filmmaking like he was making?
Oh, yeah.
For sure, yeah. And the first episode was filmed before a live studio audience.
A real live studio audience.
And multi-cameras. It was the whole thing, the way you would do it for the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, so we literally rehearsed it for like 3 days, and then we did it once. And that's the show that you see. I mean, it was, and I was so terrified, and I really, really didn't want to do it, and I really pushed back and said,
you did.
I don't think we should have an audience. I haven't been on stage for 25 years. I'm terrified. I don't want to do it. I got my first laugh, and I'm so shallow that the moment people started laughing at my jokes, which I didn't write, I was like, I've wasted my entire life. I should have been in a sitcom all my life. I have wasted my entire career. What have I been doing?
Now, when you guys are first working on Avengers Age of Ultron, how much of the characters are kind of pitched to you in their overarching story within the MCU? Because it seems like WandaVision, at least for you guys, kind of came out of nowhere, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. No, I've never been pitched more than like one thing at a time. Pretty much.
This puts to rest those rumors if you know, Wanda's far future, if she's back in the MCU and all that stuff. So you're only pitched one project at a time as it comes.
Yeah, basically. I when I went into WandaVision, like I had no idea what was, I had an idea that I was going to be in Doctor Strange. I had an idea of that, but I thought I was in an ensemble cast, and I thought I was one of the good guys. And then 3 weeks before I was sent to London, they said, "You're our lead villain." And I had no clue, and I had finished filming WandaVision. And I was like, well, it would have been helpful to have known that, just so I could have pulled a thread through a bit. But I think the story told itself, and I was able to kind of massage things in Doctor Strange to hopefully tell a different story for her. But it's truly just one at a time. At least that's what I'm pitched.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I know obviously these are comic book characters that have such a long history with the printed stuff. But the question I have for you is, do you guys go, I know that's where the research kind of is, but do you guys go even further and pull out things from other genres to infuse within these characters?
Yeah, I do it a lot specifically with movement. So with the people, there's multiple women that I have worked with to help create Scarlet Witch's movement, and we start with bringing the images to life, and how do we hit certain images that are iconic that maybe have nothing to do with this storyline. And so that's something I'm really cautious of. There's some like Witches Row stuff that was in WandaVision, even though it's not exactly the same story, but the use of the hood and things like that you just try and incorporate into the costumes and into the, and if it's really the fans that can maybe notice those. And so it's those kinds of details that have been fun to pick out of the comics that aren't necessarily on the page.
How about for yourself, Paul? Like, does the research go for you beyond the comic book character?
Yeah, but for me, it's mostly in a sort of human way. You know, I mean, being a robot is sort of taken care of by the costume, and so I don't know. I think I think what we discovered with WandaVision is what a broad church Marvel can be, and films like this at large, and you can talk to a lot of people. And I think that what Jack Schaefer did, and thank you very much, and you know what Lizzie did with her performance, a story of a woman in grief, I think really spoke to a lot of people in a genuinely beautiful and helpful way. So I think, and you know, to be a part of that, I really didn't want to mess that up, and so to be a part of that was mostly about just being human and present and thinking about, frankly, grief.
Speaking of grief, I think that you have one of the most iconic lines of any MCU project with what is grief if not love persevering?
Co-written by Paul Bettany himself.
Was that really?
Well, kind of. Actually, it was an assistant. Jack's assistant came in with a cup of coffee, and we've been working on what that line should be, and she was the one that really came up with it and nailed it. But if you watch that, the truth of why that line is I think really powerful and really played for people is it doesn't play on me.
Right.
The camera's on Lizzie receiving that line, and it's actually what she does, I think, that makes her receptiveness to those words that makes the line iconic.
Yeah, it's such an iconic moment, probably the best line of the whole MCU, I would say. But for you, being in that scene and delivering that line, did you realize and know that it was going to have the impact and go as viral as it did after the fact?
No, I knew it was a really good line.
It was interesting. I don't think you ever know if something's going to resonate with anyone, really. But I think that as someone who wasn't obsessing over the line, Paul really flagged it early on, and it was like a problem that he needed to solve, and raised his hand and said, I feel like we can really nail something down about this entire show in this moment. And he was agonizing over it. So I do think it's like, it's really this idea of like yes, we're playing superheroes, but what we're trying to do more than anything is figure out how to tell this story as best possible. And we do care a lot about it. And Paul truly, for weeks, had been trying to figure out how to make that line better. And so I do think it's a testament to just like a true care for these characters we're playing and really hoping to land it with fans. And that is because, so I think that's why it lands, because someone cared so much to figure out how to make it as clear and poignant as possible.
Jack Schaefer's assistant, one of the unsung heroes of Wandavision. Credit deserved. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Listen, as a guy that started off as a PA, I love hearing stories like that. So that's incredible. Now, look, Vision has multiple fates. White Vision, lost memories, death, kids. What are you excited to explore the most in Vision Quest?
Well, I can't say too much about it, and we've already shot it, so I've already explored it. But I saw a lot of it just yesterday, and it's fantastic, and I'm really excited for you all to see it, and it is about. It's about lots of things, and it's super exciting, but in the same way that WandaVision was about grief, and if you said that before, you'd go, oh, I'm not sure I want to watch that show. It's sort of about intergenerational trauma. really is.
Sounds fun, Paul!
Yeah. We're in for a good time.
And it's about fathers and sons and stuff, and denial of pain and denial of your own truth, and coming to terms with who and what you are and what you could be. You know, I mean, I think one of the things that's really powerful about the character is that he's always in a state of flux and change, and I think that's really important. I think that's really important for people, and very important for what turns out to be the fans of WandaVision. You know, I think that, and I guess our lane in the Marvel universe is that you are the person that you think you are, despite what anybody else might say. That's it.
I love that. I love that. Would you say that this is a direct sequel to WandaVision?
No, but I would say it's absolutely rightly part of the trilogy.
Okay.
And of course, it remains on some very deep level about Vision's love, or the love of Wanda and Vision.
All right. I mean, listen, you didn't have to sell me. I'm excited for the show. I want to talk about working with the Russos, because you guys were in Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. I feel like that is a massive cast to handle. Can you talk about your experience working on those films with the Russo brothers?
I mean, there's like 5 sets going on at any given moment, between the stunt set, the B unit shooting drone shots, and then one brother has one set, the other brother has another set. It's just so much multitasking at the same time that truly only two people could handle it. And they do it with such confidence and ease, and they're not stressed at all.
Really?
It's absolutely shocking. Nothing really ruffles them. They think everything's a solvable problem. So it creates this like this real ease on a set that could probably feel very chaotic.
Now, working with the Russo brothers and these large, massive casts, what are some of your fondest memories when all of you guys are together? Because I feel like it's a rarity to get all of you guys in like the same room again.
It's awful for everyone to wrangle us. Everyone's trying to be the funniest person in the room, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is. I remember being in one scene, and if I'm being totally honest, it was a pig of a scene. It was just so hard. And I remember reading the scene thinking this is going to be a nightmare. And then we started, and you know, like, Mark Ruffalo said his thing, and I was like, well, that was pretty good, actually. And then, Don Cheadle did his bit, and I was like, actually, that was pretty good. And then Scarlet did her bit, and I went, wow, she was really good at shining that. And then you did your bit, and I was like, holy cow, that was so good. And then somebody went, Paul, it's your line. And, so I do think that it's lovely when you are all together and you get to see actually how fantastically talented these people are, Yeah, it's really wonderful to see them work.
Now, I know that you guys have done your homework on these characters and explored them a ton, especially with the comics. Are there any comic storylines that the MCU hasn't explored yet that you hope that they get to with your characters?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any in particular?
I mean, I just think House of M is just the coolest. I don't know how to make it make sense, you guys, but maybe there's some fan pitches or theories out there. But I just think it could be so fun to deal with X-Men and Avengers and No More Mutants, or I don't know.
I feel like I could see the wheels turning in your head right now as we talk about it, because I also
it would
love
be
House
fun.
of M. How about you, Paul? Any Vision stories that you've explored that they haven't done in the MCU yet?
Oh, there are loads. I love on some level, in a kind of meta way, the Vision in suburbia. I think that's that whole story was kind of fantastic and a real different take and a kind of horror take.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be fun. But I'm kind of super happy with kind of where they're going and where I think they're going in the next couple.
That's a great answer. I feel like you were dancing around a lot, but respect.
Yeah,
I know there's Marvel snipers everywhere.
If I say anything, I'll lose my job.
Probably you and me both, actually. So, the Avengers movies are obviously, I don't know if they're wrapped, if they're done or whatever. What are you hoping... What are you hoping to see with this next phase of the MCU as we leave the multiverse saga?
A massive paycheck.
It's coming. It's coming.
I hope we continue to surprise ourselves and the audience. Like, I think that's what keeps people coming back, is to not rely on old tricks. Sure. And so that's what I hope for.
With a show like WandaVision, especially like really changing the game with what the MCU is doing, what Marvel is doing, and we've had so much content come out recently. What do you think the strategy is now to make sure that everything kind of stands alone and you can keep up with everything?
I have absolutely no clue.
Okay.
Me neither.
Yeah.
All right, fair answer.
No one's asking us for strategy.
Look, yeah, I'll tell you what, if we get that House of M, I think that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. What's been your favorite version of Wanda to play? I mean, we've had her in WandaVision, Age of Ultron, Marvel Zombies even.
Yeah. I don't even remember what year it was when I did the recording for that.
Really?
It could have been 4 years ago. It could have been 3 years ago. Couldn't tell you.
Wow, well, it just recently dropped on Disney Plus.
I just heard from so many of you.
Are you guys down to take fan questions?
Sure, yeah.
All right. I know we have a ton of questions out here. We'll go to you right there. Yeah, we have a mic here. If not, I'll just figure it out. Here. I hand this to you.
Here I go. You want me to give it to you? No, that's okay.
Okay, thank you, Joe. My question is for Lizzie Olson. First of all, you're so beautiful inside and out.
Thank you. Oh.
You've given so much heart to every character that you play. So I was wondering if that has ever inspired you to ever direct your own projects one day, because you're so talented and you've inspired so many of us more than you can realize. Take the compliment, please.
That's very sweet of you. I don't know. Maybe I'll direct something one day.
Can I be in it?
Yeah. Paul will be the first call. I don't know. Paul's directed a beautiful feature, and I don't know. It's something I'd like to do, but it needs to be something that is completely mine, that I'm obsessed with, and there are a couple collaborations that I really am enjoying right now, where I'm more hands-on, and I hope that they're capable of being made. You never really know, but you just kind of spend your time off caring about something else that you hope will see the light of day. And so I'm not sure what will, but it's something I think about, but it's not something I'm actively pursuing right now. But thank you.
Thank you. Right here in the pink.
Sorry. So I just want to say, Paul, one of my favorite movies of all time is A Knight's Tale.
Thank you very much.
It was my mom's favorite movie, and she passed when I was little, so it's one of the things that bonds us. And I just wanted to ask if you guys have a TV show or a movie that you feel that emotionally connected to.
A Beautiful Mind's one of mine, actually.
That's a great
and
answer.
I've felt very lucky to tell you and Jen that at that wild dinner we had once
it was great.
with a bunch of other people, which was such a funny dinner. But that was a really important movie to me in that way. And so to talk to Jen and Paul about it, I don't know, it's when we were filming Age of Ultron. It was that long ago.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So that was, I know. So that was 10 years ago or something. Yeah.
It's crazy. Time goes by fast.
For me, you mean like a comfort thing? Oh, I don't know.
That was not. I was one that made me emotional immediately thinking about it. Was the one. Comfort is First Wives Club. That's something else.
I don't know. Maybe like Princess Bride or something. I think. Probably, yeah.
That's one I hope that they
makes
never
so
remake.
much sense for you. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Or maybe, and maybe It's a Wonderful Life. Christmas.
The second person that we've talked to on the panel said Wonderful Life is one of their comfort movies. It's a great film. We got more hands. We got this guy in the blue shirt.
Thank you very much, guys, for letting me ask this question. Okay, personality speaking, which part of the characters do you think you guys have in your regular life for Wandavision?
Which part of the characters do you guys think you have in your regular life? Or embody in your regular life?
I think it changes. I mean, there's so much of... With work, it's like you have a story that it almost forces you to have to dig for something inside yourself, and so there's always something. And whether it's with WandaVision, you start digging into something else that is more about grief or repression or loss or love. And then with Doctor Strange, it's something else. It's anger and. A lot of anger and resentment and fear. And so I think depending on what the story is, our jobs are to potentially look inward and see what we can pull in from ourselves to make that story function or work or be imbued with like a soul. And so I think there's always something.
I think that was so eloquently answered. I think that, yes, it's different each time. Like in Wandavision, there was a goofiness to Vision in that I have in my daily life, and also in Vision Quest, for instance, there are big questions to ask yourself about what it is to be a father and what it is to be a son, and those are questions that I have, of course, asked myself as a father of 3 children. So I think it changes all the time.
Incredible, thank you. Who else we got? Right here? Hi.
Hi, Elizabeth. I wanted to ask, with Halloween coming up, of course, you've explored the darker side of the Scarlet Witch. What was it like to be the queen of the dead in Marvel Zombies?
What was it like to be the queen of the dead? You guys, I truly recorded that years ago. And
You can't remember.
I can't remember
She
anything.
can't remember.
I can't remember anything. I need to watch it. I have no idea what Marvel Zombies, what happens. I filmed it. It's my voice. I did it in my house. I wasn't even in an office space. Like, I'm so confused. I was like, this must have been 2020? Was it 2021? Why was I working in my house and not in a studio? So I really have no idea what it was like. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it could have been during the pandemic era.
Truly.
Now that we're talking about it.
That's how long animation takes. Animation takes ages.
I mean, the animation is pretty gorgeous. It looks pretty amazing. Hello, let's see where we got. Over here, this guy in the red hat.
This one's for Paul. Like the last guest said, Knight's Tale was one of my favorite movies. And one of the best scenes is your being the herald for the last night at the very end. Has anybody asked you to do a speech for them to introduce them to something like you did for Heath Ledger at the end of that movie?
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. I mean, it was like another lifetime ago, and sometimes people come up to me on the street and quote things at me, and I literally can't remember. I can't remember any of it. I saw it when it first came out. I've never seen it again since. There are lots of reasons for that, and one is, and just one of them is that I miss Heath too much, I think.
Awesome. Let's go right here. Dude in black here.
Hey guys, Wonder Man's coming to the MCU on Disney Plus. Wanda and Vision are part of a love triangle with Wonder Man. How would you like to see that love affair, if it is to be told in the MCU, between you two and Wonder Man? I think both of the gentlemen are fighting for the ladies, so.
Wonder Man is coming to the... Wonder Man's coming to the MCU, and in the comics, there's a bit of a love triangle between Wonder Man, Vision, and Wanda. Is that something that you would like to see played out on screen?
I feel like I'm too old for that kind of
Vision has to deal with kids now.
I just made a movie about not a love triangle, but a woman who's choosing between her 2 dead husbands in the afterlife. And so I feel like I feel okay with not doing another movie about 2 men wanting my love or something for a minute.
Good answer. Good answer.
Let's ask that woman there, because she's been so patient. Right there. Yeah, you.
Hello. So you both are incredibly talented actors, and of course acting offers a unique opportunity to explore lived experiences different than our own. So I'm curious, what is a human experience, good or bad, that you would like to explore on screen that either you haven't yet or that you would like to explore further?
That's a great question. It really is. And it does... There are so many narcissistic, self-serving things that you get from this job. and you have absolutely identified the one bit of it that is edifying, which is placing yourself in somebody else's circumstance and imagining what you would do. And for me, it really is the most moving bit of our job, is just to, I think it really helps you sort of stretch and work out your empathy muscle in a really great way. I don't know specifically. I don't have in my head specifically the person, the thing that I would like to explore. But what I do know is that if I was just confined to playing one thing that I just am forever, I'd hang up my acting tights because it would be too boring.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer.
I think that's a great answer, too. Let's see. Right here.
I'm so excited. Sorry. So Wanda is one of the first big female protagonists in the MCU that is in a relationship and also is one of the most powerful characters. Obviously, we have Natasha and Bruce, but we didn't get to explore that as much as Gamora and Peter. But we also didn't get to explore that too much. We did, but then also Gamora as she's kick-ass, but Wanda is a very, very powerful superhero. So was there any discussions before or during shooting about you being this strong female character, but also having a really strong relationship with another strong person?
It's a great question, because there's usually it's usually quite binary in some traditional forms of storytelling. You're either a romantic interest or you're a hero protagonist. And I don't know, I think it might have been something that Jack Schaefer and I spoke about once, I'm not sure, but I do know what she and I did talk about when we were doing WandaVision was this idea of the many things a woman can be, even as a mother, which is why it was so nice getting to go through the different decades of what are expected of mothers. And Wanda sort of breaking down in Modern Family style in her depression, basically. And so I do think the show was always meant to embrace all the complexities and the many different hats women do wear, whether it is them being a big leader, defender, strength of their family, or a depressed woman who just can't get out of bed. And I think all of those things we tried to embrace with her, which I know was important to Jack Schaefer. So we had those kinds of conversations, maybe not so much just the love and powerful part, but it was about hoping to embrace all those complexities and showcase them in a superhero.
So you guys first started playing these roles 10 years ago or so. What do you love? It was 10 years ago, right?
It was 10 years ago.
I know, it's crazy. But we've seen the journey of love, loss, parenthood, grief. What have you learned about yourself through playing Wanda and the Vision?
This might not be specifically from the character, but what I've loved most every time I get the opportunity to be put back in her shoes is almost just as a storyteller trying to figure out how to place something in a surprising way, something that maybe hasn't been seen yet of the character. And you do need story to back that up for you. And so it's been about that, really. And it's been really fun because I really do want you guys to be surprised. And so it's sometimes hard when you feel well, God, I've been able to do so much with her. How can I try to surprise people? And I'm not sure what that is yet. I kind of need a story to help figure that out. But that's been the biggest gift for me, has been really trying to be as creative as possible with doing something that hopefully is exciting and new and surprising for our audiences.
How about for you, Paul?
Yeah, that's a great answer. I would agree with that. totally. But I also think that I think he's made me less. Well, I don't know, because I've been doing it for so long, now. I don't know whether it's also just me growing up, finally. I feel less judgmental as a person. I think that Vision's very unjudgmental a person, and I feel less definitive about my position on things. And I think that he is open. He's very open and unjudgmental as a character. So maybe that's a bit of Vision rubbing off on me, or maybe I'm just finally becoming a less awful person.
Well, usually it goes the other way, right?
That's true.
We really just kind of like tighten up and really double down.
Yeah, that's true.
And maybe Vision's allowed you to not do that in your...
I'm still judgmental about grown men in shorts.
There's probably so many people in shorts here right now, Paul.
I know.
It's very warm.
I'm not saying it's their problem, it's my problem.
Yeah, it is your problem.
You're not a shorts guy, Paul?
I will literally pack a pair of trousers in a dive bag so that if I'm eating in a cafe on a beach, I'm not eating in shorts because it's just unacceptable.
My God, my husband's always in shorts. He loves shorts, and I
is he
love
about
his
to do
little
an athletic
legs.
event? Your delivery of "I love his little legs" that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Okay.
So that's where we're drawing the line is sports. That is the appropriate time
Well,
for
hiking. Hiking, is that a sport?
Okay, hiking, yes.
Okay.
If you're about to do an athletic event or you're right by a body of water, then yes. But if you're in New York City, what are you doing wearing shorts?
Paul, sometimes
Unless
it's
you're a
really
child.
hot in New York, though.
Yeah.
I know, I live there. I put on trousers.
Oh, my God.
You're built differently, my friend.
Well, you haven't seen my legs. That's probably the actual issue.
On that note, I think that's all the time we have, unfortunately. But for all of you guys that want to meet them, I'm pretty sure I think it might be sold out for your guys' photo op and meeting you guys. But if not, they're here. Meet them at their booth. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
Thank you. You guys are amazing.
And thank you so much for still caring.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an amazing show. You guys are amazing at what you do. Let's hear for Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olson! Amazing, amazing.
Good news, everyone. You can subscribe to Fandom Spotlite for free. What? That doesn't seem right. And this says have fun and follow your fandom, whatever that means.